While you're at work thinking about lunch, your hamster has already completed 17 infrastructure projects. Your cat has judged you from 5 different locations, and your fish has literally forgotten meeting you 3 seconds ago. The lives of our pets are wildly different from each other, and honestly, way more interesting than we give them credit for. Imagine if we could split the screen and watch what a dog, cat, hamster, goldfish, and rabbit are doing at the exact same moment throughout a typical day. The contrast is absolutely hilarious and reveals some jaw-dropping wildlife info about how different species experience time, space, and their daily routines. Let's dive into this multi-pet reality show and see what chaos, cuteness, and completely bizarre behaviors unfold when we're not paying attention. Let's start at 6 a.m. when the house is still quiet and most humans are blissfully unconscious. Your dog has been awake for approximately 47 minutes already because their internal clock is more reliable than any alarm, and they've decided that 6 a.m. is the universally correct time for breakfast, regardless of what you think about it. They're probably staring at your bedroom door with laser focus, occasionally doing a little whine or a strategic paw scratch to remind you of their existence and their very urgent need for kibble. Meanwhile, your cat is finishing up their 3rd or 4th nap of the night. Yes, cats sleep 12 to 16 hours a day, which is one of those amazing animals facts that makes you wonder what they're doing with the other 8 hours besides judging you. At this exact moment, your cat is probably perched on a high surface they definitely shouldn't be on, surveying their kingdom and plotting which item they'll knock off the counter today. The hamster, being nocturnal, has just finished an absolutely exhausting night shift that included running approximately 5 miles on their wheel, rearranging their entire bedroom setup, and hoarding food in their cheeks like they're preparing for the apocalypse. They're finally settling down for sleep, looking absolutely done with everything. Your goldfish is doing what goldfish do best, swimming in a figure 8 pattern for the 800th time. Because here's a hilarious animal fact. Goldfish have a memory span of about 3 months, not 3 seconds like the myth suggests, but they're still pretty forgetful and easily entertained by the same castle decoration they've seen a million times. Your rabbit is already up and munching on hay because rabbits are crepuscular, meaning they're most active at dawn and dusk, which is nature's way of making sure they're energetic at the most inconvenient times for you. Fast forward to 9 a.m., and the divergence gets even more entertaining. Your dog has been fed, walked, and is now in what I call the first nap position on the couch, having exhausted themselves by greeting you like you've returned from war, even though you only went to the bathroom. Dogs can sleep 12 to 14 hours a day when they're not actively doing dog things, and they cycle through naps like it's their job. Your cat, however, is entering their brief active period where they suddenly remember they're a descendant of apex predators. This is when the zoomies might happen. Those wild animal moments where they sprint through the house for absolutely no reason, potentially launching themselves off furniture like parkour athletes with no regard for physics or safety. Funny animal behaviors include the way cats will suddenly become obsessed with hunting a dust particle or a shadow, treating it like it's the most dangerous prey they've ever encountered. The hamster is now dead asleep, probably buried under their bedding in a position that looks uncomfortable, but is apparently perfect for them. They're completely unconscious and will remain so for most of the day, living their best nocturnal life. Your goldfish is vibing. There's really no other word for it. They're just existing in their aquatic world, occasionally coming to the surface hoping for food, because goldfish are perpetually convinced they're starving, even though they were fed 20 minutes ago. Your rabbit is practicing their interior decorating skills, which unfortunately means rearranging things by throwing them around, chewing on anything remotely chewable, and digging at corners because somewhere in their rabbit brain, they believe there's an escape tunnel that needs to be excavated from your carpet. By noon, the household dynamics shift again in ways that reveal animal kingdom surprises about how different species manage their energy. Your dog is likely following you around the house if you're home, because dogs are pack animals who experience genuine distress when separated from their people and genuine joy when they're near you, even if near you means lying on your feet while you're trying to work. If you're not home, your dog is probably napping, but in strategic locations where they can hear the door, waiting for your return like you're the most important event of their entire existence, which, let's be honest, you are. Your cat has found a sunbeam, which is basically cat heroin. Cats are obsessed with warmth because their ancestors came from desert climates, and a patch of afternoon sun might as well be a luxury resort. They'll sleep in that sunbeam and slowly rotate throughout the afternoon like a rotisserie chicken, maximizing every possible angle of solar exposure. This is peak cat happiness. The hamster remains passed out, completely unbothered by the daylight world's concerns. Hamsters in the wild are prey animals who hide during the day to avoid predators. So your domestic hamster's instinct is still telling them that daytime is danger time, even though the most dangerous thing in your house is probably the vacuum cleaner. Your goldfish has discovered something extraordinary, the same plant they've swum past 6,000 times. They're investigating it with the enthusiasm of an explorer finding a new continent, because from their perspective, this might actually be new information. Nature Trivia reveals that goldfish can recognize their owners and can be trained to perform tricks, which means they're smarter than we give them credit for, but they're still fundamentally operating on goldfish logic that doesn't always make sense to us. Your rabbit is having lunch, their third or fourth small meal, because rabbits graze constantly, needing to keep their digestive system moving at all times. They're munching hay and probably doing that adorable tooth-purring thing called clucking that rabbits do when they're content. Afternoon around 3 p.m. brings more entertaining contrasts. Your dog might be experiencing what I call the afternoon slump, which is another nap, but this time they're really committed to it, possibly snoring in a way that seems impossible for their size. Dogs dream during REM sleep, and you can tell because their paws twitch like they're running, probably chasing squirrels in a dream world where they're finally fast enough to catch one. Your cat is awake again and demanding attention, but only on their terms. They might bring you a toy, which seems like they want to play, but here's a weird animal fact. When cats bring you toys, they're often trying to teach you to hunt because they think you're an incompetent kitten who needs guidance. Alternatively, they're yowling at you for reasons that will never be explained because cats are mysterious creatures who communicate in riddles. The hamster is starting to stir, doing those adorable stretches where they extend all 4 legs simultaneously and yawn with their tiny teeth showing. They're gearing up for their evening shift and probably assessing whether the food bowl situation has improved since they last checked. It hasn't, but they'll check 17 more times anyway. Your goldfish is hungry, or at least they think they are. Goldfish don't have stomachs in the traditional sense, so they never feel full, which means they're perpetually interested in food and will beg adorably even if they've been fed adequately. Animals you didn't know about include the fact that overfeeding goldfish is one of the most common ways people accidentally harm them because the fish themselves have no self-control. Your rabbit is doing binkies, those hilarious jumping twists that rabbits do when they're happy. It looks like they've been electrocuted, but in a joyful way. This is how rabbits express pure contentment, and it's one of the most entertaining things you'll ever witness. As evening approaches around 6 p.m., everyone's energy levels create this perfect storm of activity. Your dog knows dinner is coming because dogs have an internal clock that's accurate to the minute when food is involved. They're probably doing surveillance work near the kitchen, possibly whining or doing that thing where they tap you with their paw to remind you that they exist and have needs. Dogs have evolved alongside humans for thousands of years and have become experts at manipulating us with puppy eyes and strategic cuteness. Your cat is entering peak insanity hours. Cats have 2 main activity periods, dawn and dusk, matching their wild ancestors' hunting times. This means your cat is now fully charged and ready to cause problems on purpose. They might race around the house, attack invisible enemies, or suddenly become fascinated with destroying something they've ignored for months. This is normal cat behavior, which is basically controlled chaos dressed in fur. The hamster is fully awake now and entering their productive hours. They're checking their territory, stuffing their cheeks with food to relocate to 7 different hiding spots, and preparing for their evening workout routine that would shame most gym enthusiasts. Hamsters can run up to 9 miles in a single night on their wheel, which is absolutely insane considering their size. Your goldfish has no concept that dinner time is special. Every time is potentially food time in their mind. They're doing their happy food dance at the front of the tank, wiggling enthusiastically because they've learned that human presence often correlates with food appearing. Your rabbit is doing their evening zoomies, which is different from cat zoomies, but equally chaotic. Rabbits are surprisingly fast and agile. and when they're happy and energetic, they'll sprint around their space doing sharp turns and leaps that seem to defy their fluffy, chunky appearance. By 9 p.m., the evening routines are in full effect and the differences are striking. Your dog is settling down for the night, having received their final bathroom break and possibly some evening cuddles. Dogs are den animals who feel secure in routine, and most are ready to sleep near their people, whether that's in a dog bed, crate, or sneakily on your actual bed if you're a pushover who can't resist those eyes. Your cat is still absolutely wired because cats are crepuscular and their evening activity period can last until late night. This is when they might bring you dead toys as gifts, knock things off surfaces for entertainment, or zoom past you at 40 miles per hour for reasons they'll never explain. Cats are essentially running an independent schedule that occasionally intersects with ours, but is fundamentally their own. The hamster is in full night shift mode now, and this is when you'll hear the wheel spinning, the water bottle clinking, and various construction sounds as they redesign their habitat. Hamsters are incredibly active at night, which is one of those animal fun facts that surprises people who thought they were getting a low-maintenance pet. They're basically running a tiny nightclub in that cage. Your goldfish is just existing in peaceful oblivion, swimming their patterns, possibly sleeping. Yes, fish sleep. They just don't close their eyes because they don't have eyelids, which is wonderfully weird. Your rabbit is still somewhat active, doing evening grooming sessions that include those adorable ear-washing moves where they lick their paws and wipe their faces like tiny cats. Late night at 11 p.m. shows the final contrast of the day. Your dog is fully asleep, probably in REM sleep, dreaming of important dog things like catching that tennis ball or getting infinite treats. They might snore, twitch, or make adorable sleeping sounds that make you want to video them for internet points. Your cat might finally be settling down, or they might be experiencing the midnight zoomies that echo through your house at ungodly hours. Some cats never get the memo that nighttime is for sleeping, and instead treat 2 a.m. like it's party time. The hamster is at peak activity, running marathons on their wheel and living their best life. This is their preferred time, and they're absolutely thriving. If you're awake, you might hear them being tiny construction workers in their cage. Your goldfish is in rest mode, hovering near the bottom or behind decorations, moving minimally to conserve energy. They're still aware, but definitely in sleep-adjacent mode. Your rabbit is winding down now, doing final snacks and settling into their favorite sleeping spot, which is probably somewhere they feel secure and hidden because prey animal instincts never fully disappear. The fascinating thing about comparing these 5 completely different daily schedules is how it reveals that pet is an incredibly broad category covering species with totally different biological needs, evolutionary histories, and lived experiences. Dogs evolved with humans and sync their schedules to ours. Cats domesticated themselves and maintain independence. Hamsters are wild animals barely removed from their desert origins. Goldfish are operating on ancient aquatic programming. Rabbits are prey animals managing constant alertness with moments of joy. Yet all of them thrive in our homes through understanding and accommodating their natural behaviors. So here's the real question. Which of these 5 pets' daily routines sounds most exhausting to you, and which sounds like the life you secretly wish you had? Are you team dog's enthusiastic appreciation of simple pleasures, or team cat's judgmental independence, or maybe team hamster's midnight productive chaos? Drop a comment sharing which pet's daily life you related to most, and if you have multiple pets, tell us about the chaos of managing their completely different schedules. If this video made you appreciate the wild diversity of pet behaviors, smash that like button and share it with fellow pet owners who need to see this validation that yes, their pets' weird schedules are totally normal. Subscribe for more animal content that celebrates the hilarious, bizarre, and wonderful world of the creatures we live with. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go explain to a cat why 3 a.m. is not an appropriate time for conversation.